goes, my old house, and here am I, broken hearted. Here am I, here am I, here am I. She was mine.
Hello, I'm Marie, the host of Vinyl City Broadcasting, your transit express to rock and roll trivia. Today, our special guest comes to us from Las Vegas, Mr. Stevie Dunham, the Don as he is known in some circles. Stevie Dunham is a singer, songwriter, author, music producer, DJ, and record label owner. His company, Street Corner Entertainment, is an independent record label specializing in the genre of urban vocal group harmony, street corner harmony, a cappella, R&B, and Northern Soul. Street Corner Entertainment releases product by current vocal groups of this genre and also specializes in issuing rare and unreleased 1950s and 60s recordings. From New York to Las Vegas, Stevie will give us 30 years of his unique perspective of what's happening in the music genre we've grown up with and love. So now let's go over to our Zoom room, our studio, where Rico has just informed me that Stevie, aka the Don, is connected and ready to go. Well, hello, Stevie.
Hi.
It's always nice to talk to someone from the East Coast, and you haven't lost your New York accent or your swagger, which we like.
Yeah, that's cool. I was brought up old school. I mean, certain habits you just can't just throw away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm actually a product of both coasts. So, but it's the New York attitude, the swagger, the whole thing it's still prevalent with me.
It's still there. Yes.
Yeah.
So we have a few questions for you. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. First one. The Don. Who penned that name for you?
One of the guys in the SCE group, which means Street Corner Entertainment Record Group. His name is Sally G, aka Sal Gulanazzo. It was a joke, and in a discussion. Because he's the global ambassador of doo-wop, and he was kind of making a pseudo sarcastic, a little heavy remark to me, and my response was to him, "But you know what, Sal, I'm the Don." And so what he did was he told everybody that Stevie's the Don, and that's it. But you know what? In reality, based on what I do every month in this business, I get calls from various people that we know, some of them together, some not, that come to me with their problems, with their advice, ask for advice, and I feel like I'm a psychiatrist. I should be like Lucy and Charlie Brown, put up a little stand with a 5-cent payday and say psychiatric help. Well, that's how I feel like sometimes. But I am very astute in the music business, so my advice does hold true for them, and I do try to help everybody as I can, unselfishly. So that's how I got that name. And it's funny. Actually, the actual terminology for that really means the head of household too, aside from the derogatory meaning.
Right.
So it's a little bit of give and take on both sides of it.
Well, it's so nice to hear you're willing to help people in the music industry.
I do it unselfishly. I have helped many people in our business, in our genre in particular, and I don't take any money for it. It's a part of my networking abilities, and I correlate it and encompass it with that, because one day one of these guys that I've helped out will come back in tenfold, just like the old school way of doing business is. Right. And I do old school traditional business. So I'm all about helping somebody and doing them favors as long as I get a favor in return, you know? And sometimes it doesn't happen. I don't ask for money. If it happens like that, then the envelope comes.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's all good, you know?
Yes, you got to give and take down. And
it certainly is. That's we learned that in the street, and we learned that in our family bring up, you know? So, I mean, that to me, those type of attributes stick through me for the rest of my life. I will never change.
All right. Well, we're going to call you the Don, Stevie. So
thank you. You know, it's funny, but it is true. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure. So tell us how you got started in the field of urban vocal street corner harmony music.
Well, I started off as a collector. I was 14 years old. Before that, at 10 years old, I sang in a street corner group in Brooklyn called the Street Notes with some local, a couple of cousins and some neighborhood guys. We didn't do anything. It was just for fun, because back in, when I was 10 years old, that was 1977. All right, I'm 54. So that was, some people think that that was just the 50s and 60s thing. It was a counterculture thing for a long time. You could go into the inner city urban enclaves of any of the boroughs and see some people singing in the street in a vocal group. Still, and even at that late of time, it's just part of our counterculture. So, and we were no different. And we didn't have money at that age. The ages of the guys were between 10 and 14. I mean, we didn't have record players and cassette players and whatnot. So we just picked it up from what we heard from friends and relatives on records, and we emulated the sounds that we were able to remember, and we put our own interpretations or arrangements together. It was very unique. It was fun. It was a learning experience, and it was actually better than roaming the streets and doing some derogatory things. So that was a good thing. And so, and I should have taken the phone off the hook here, but that's okay. But that evolved a little bit later when I was 14, involved in the music again as a collector. I always embraced it. We were now in Oregon from Brooklyn, and I'm still loving all of this music. So I started collecting records early, and it was great. And I love all types of music in rock and roll of different genres, but group harmony and a cappella in particular are my favorites. And so you can't collect everything, especially when you're a teenager. You have limited funds. And so I did my best. So I started collecting, and then I started amassing other records to deal and trade and sell so I could buy the ones I wanted. And by the time I was 20 years old, I had amassed a large collection of records, 45s, and albums, and my particular forte, which is a cappella, and other group harmony recordings of the type. So it worked out really good. By the time I was 25, I had 50,000 albums and 45s combined. And so because I just kept going up the ladder. I was by 1988, 89, when I formed my first record label, Crescent, I was the youngest producer of doo-wop music in the United States. And I just opened the doors. I just unlocked the doors that I got the keys to, more or less, and just moved up the ladder from there. And I just kept going. And, when I started as a record producer and putting out my own 45s in the oldies market, I got instant celebrity and notoriety because I was the youngest guy with all the oldies record guys. And so that really, and even some of the groups too. Yeah. So it really was a thrill. And I didn't know it at the time. I knew it much later in life that I was, because nobody else came along and did that. Singers did, younger than me, but not record guys. And I'm the only second generation oldies record market record guy from the original New York guys from the Times Square record days.
Oh, interesting. Your second generation.
I knew them all. There's only about 7 of us left that are active.
Wow.
A lot of them are retired, and some of them have passed away. But all in all, I learned a lot of stuff, aspects of how to do business, different practices. I learned a plethora of all kinds of records I never heard of to go after myself. I'm an avid reader, and I'm also a historian for our music. So I live, eat, and breathe this stuff.
I see that. Yes, you're well-rounded.
Yeah. And I went to college. I got my education.
Starting off as a young kid, you had some fun, and you just kept progressing in this field.
Yeah, I guess you morph from one position to another until eventually you move up the ladder and get to where you want to be. I mean, I formalized my education too. I mean, I have a bachelor's degree in music business management from Art Institute.
Okay, that really helps too.
It helped immensely. My street education of music business comes from my second mentor, Mr. Frankie Iovino from the Five Boroughs. He's the one that really taught me the business.
Oh, good. It's good to have a mentor. Yeah, it makes a huge difference, I'm sure.
My first mentor was Eugene Pitt of the Jive Five.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about him a little later since you had mentioned him before. Yes. Now, so Stevie, reading your website and Facebook page, it says you're a recording artist, a songwriter, an author, a DJ, and you represent numerous other singers and groups. Did I leave anything out?
I have done everything, music publishing and songwriting and arranging, also some of the things I do. I've done everything in the music business or Sands entertainment business artistically as a performer and behind the scenes, other than be on television or in motion pictures, which that might happen in my future. I've been offered things in the past.
Oh, really?
But I've never encompassed it because they were just, these people were not, they weren't legitimate. Oh. I've been offered it probably in my career about 8 times. If it is legitimate and valid, then I will take a chance. But I'm not going to go involved in and just to do it for the sake of being in a movie or on television in that capacity. Because if it's campy, I don't want to have my characteristics or my reputation compromised like that, because I'm not gonna just jump and do it for the sake of it,
Yeah, you have to watch over your branding and and your reputation.
Exactly, it's very that's a good point, Marie. Branding is so important because my logo, Street Corner Entertainment, is synonymous with me. So when they see it, they know that it's me. And vice versa, and that's very.
They know you have integrity. They know your reputation.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Well, very good. Now, could you give us a quick synopsis of some of the groups you currently sing with or sang with in the past? I know you were talking to Rico the other night about Eugene Pitt, and tell our VCB audience about the time that he backed you up on stage when you were performing.
Well, that was in Las Vegas in 1998 at the Gold Coast Casino, an oldie show that I was a part of producing along with Art Laureate and Daniel Laureate of Art Laureate or Alpine Productions. And Arthur and Danny they created a group called the Royal Doo-Wop All-Stars, or sometimes dubbed as the Doo-Wop All-Stars. It was a super group. Every member sang in a popular doo-wop group from the 50s and 60s. And then they, once in a while, rotate out guys. Well, Eugene was one of the members. He was a staple member of the group. And so he came out to Vegas at this particular time with the group. And I was thrilled to death. I hadn't seen Eugene for quite a while. And because I kept in contact with him religiously for years, 44 years of friendship. Him and I shared together. Oh. He's not just a friend to me, he's family. He's Uncle Sam to me. His middle name is Samson. So we always called him Uncle Sam, everybody that knew him close. So he is family as far as I'm concerned. And it was just a thrill. When somebody mentors you at a young age, who taught me how to sing properly, taught me how to sing gospel music, and all these other aspects of it, and phrase correctly, and then arrange vocals his way, because he had a very unique way of doing vocal arrangements and writing. And then, come full circle, having him back you up on stage. I mean, that's the greatest thrill of anyone's life for anything.
Yeah.
As a singer or in any capacity of business, when your mentor has that kind of candor and respect to do that.
Yeah.
And it was a great thrill for me.
Oh, really Sounds like you had a great mentor. And
I did.
what
And
was the
matter of
name?
fact, I'm his only student.
What was the name of the all-star group that Eugene was with? Is
Yeah,
that
it
what?
was the Doo-Wop All-Stars. Arthur Lauria was in it.
Okay.
Danny Lauria.
They were called the
Gene.
Doo-Wop All-Stars. Okay.
Yes, they've made recordings. They're very well known in New York.
Oh,
And
okay.
of course,
I'm going to look them up after we finish the interview.
yeah.
I'd like to read more about that.
Unfortunately, Artie Lauria is gone, and
Oh.
recently, of September, Daniel Lauria passed away.
Oh.
So there's 3 or 4 of them gone now. The group has been defunct for a while, but they were great. I mean, they were awesome.
Well, you got a lot of great back in the New York area.
Yes. You know, it's a great thrill. I'm very humble, and I have a lot of respect. I don't let the status that I have achieved go to my head at all. I know that I'm well known. The thing of it is, I don't want to let other people know I'm well known, because it should be automatic. And I'm not like that to tell somebody that, hey, look, I'm famous. But I'm not going to tell somebody that, because that's not my character. They obviously know. When somebody calls me that I know in the business that I don't know personally, but knows my reputation, that's a thrill, because they know that they were recommended to talk to me. And that's great. That's a great feeling. That's another full circle thing in this business that I've experienced. And it's great. And I'm as famous as some of these guys that made these records in the 50s and 60s. And it's a great feeling. But like I said, I don't feel it like that. And I don't go out and brag about it. I'm not a braggadocio.
Well, you've done things the right way. And
I was brought up with honor, loyalty, and respect were the 3 words of mantra for my record label. You know, so that's important. And I live by those 3 words.
Well, we're so happy to hear that, Stevie. We commend you.
Thank you.
Now, how about other artists or groups you're involved with or represent in one way or another? Tell us more about them.
Well, in general, and then I'll specificate a few notables. Since 2003, I have produced about 300 doo-wop recordings in various capacities. The 5 Boroughs have been on the label. Just Friends from South Florida, which is a group that was influenced by the 5 Boroughs. Members of that group were in there. Classic Sounds from New York made a 45 RPM record with me. Dear Lord and Janine. A couple of local guys. Ramon Altamirano here in Vegas. He recorded Daddy's Song and Since You've Been Gone, which I have examples to show you in a little bit. I mentored him, and he was my best student. Like, I taught him exactly how to do things like Eugene taught me, and I do that for others too. Let's see who else. Joel Katz. I recorded him and released his Comeback 45 release. Don't Say You're Sorry, back with No More Like Me. And that helped invigorate his career to a large degree. And myself, I put out a couple of CDs. My new artist, Frankie Pizarro, my best friend, who was also the lead singer of the Platters when Herb Reed was running it for about 10 years. And I recorded a couple of things with him. We were working on a project before COVID, and we're trying to pick back up where we left off. Stardust, we made into a music video that he recorded. And he's one of the greatest singers I ever had the pleasure of ever producing and knowing. Stefano Di Santo, my latest artist, he is one of the greatest singers on the label, and he can sing the phone book. He doesn't just sing oldies. He can do opera, every genre that's put in front of him. And he's very popular. Currently, he's scoring pretty solid with the Dupree's classic, You Belong to Me. And it's getting national airplay, and it's in 250 countries right now on different stations and music networks. So I'm really happy for that. And there's a few other people that we're developing. And I've had people come through the doors over the years. I've had several groups. And I handle each artist the way I would handle myself. Nobody is going to be treated any different in how I do my own bidding for myself, because if I can't do it perfectly the way I would like it, I can't make it work for them. You know what I'm saying? And Gil Torres from the Laura Kings, who's also involved with my label. He sings in a group that tributes to Moonglows called Blue Velvet, and he's working on a Latin soul CD too. Those things are coming up. Vic Donna, who recorded Teenage Rose, which is a big hit record in New York, is also on my label. And I know Victor for 40 years. And he's still, for 80 years old, he still sings great. So, wow. And he still writes and arranges too.
You have a wide range of people. You're saying the gentleman 8 years old to the younger singer you're mentoring.
I had an 18-year-old kid a year and a half ago, Jack Nakor from Pittsburgh, and we put a CD out with him on a subsidiary label called Chicone. He's doing really well, and then he decided to go his own direction, and that's fine. But I got a lot of close friends in this business, and sometimes, as far as they go, it's great. Sometimes you got to play politics with them to a degree. For example, TJ Lubinsky, who's a dear friend of mine from PBS, he reached out to me a few months ago before the August PBS special and asked me for a guy's number, Vinny Miduno from Staten Island. And I got it for him in a few minutes, and he put him on the show, and I vouched for the kid. So, I mean, and I don't know Vinny all that well, but I heard him and I saw him and he had the right stuff. And I told TJ that, and he says, fine, because TJ wanted it. So a little edge from myself put it over. So he had a lot of airtime, screen time at PBS with a couple of 2 or 3 songs he did. And I'm very happy for that.
Has that been shown on PBS yet?
Yeah, it was this past August. It was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
TJ is going to have me on PBS in 2023, so I'm looking forward to that. He saved me for this year. He says, "I have a special plan for you." I don't know what it is, but I can only imagine based on the conversations that we have together. So it's good. And, you know, we share the same mentor. My second mentor, as I mentioned before, is Frank Iovino from the Five Boroughs. Well, that's also TJ's mentor. And that connection really made us closer because Frank was no nonsense. He was black and white and straightforward. And he was all for our music. He lived for it. He loved it unselfishly and unconditionally. And so this is really great to know that, and TJ and I are around the same age. So there's a few of us in that age group that are the continuing tradition that's going to continue on after the veterans, with all due respect, go to the Heavenly Choir. You know, which we lose about 100 a year. So, I mean, it's sad, but we have to gear up, and we've been planning for the gear up for the resurgence.
We always enjoy the TJ Lubinsky PBS doo-wop specials. You know?
I do too. My friends.
We always try to record them and watch them again, and so we'll look forward to seeing you hopefully in 2023.
I'm looking forward to it. When I go out and perform in capacities like that, it's not for me in particular. It's for the record label because I'm synonymous with the brand and the logo. So when I go out, I step out of as a first person and come in, and I'm the guy that represents the label, even though I own it. But I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for everybody else connected to the label.
Yes.
And the other subsidiary labels. So that's what I do. So we have to have somebody up front. But and I have a good grip on everybody, but we all work together very cohesively and respectfully, and they're all young.
Yeah,
I'm the oldest in the label group. I mean, Sal Gullenhaus is a year younger than me. Eric Hattenberg is 45 years old, and Peter Ciccone is 47 years old. No, 49. Excuse me. He owns Ciccone Records. Eric owns Hattenberg Records. Sal owns Global Group Harmony Records. And Lauria Records we have, but Danny passed away, so I took that over to put out stuff from the Royal Doo-Wop All Stars and some other things. So there's a label group. The reason why we created that is because I tried to talk to other people in New York and New Jersey and the East Coast where this is prevalent, this music, to form a record label. So it looks like there's more activity in the oldies record market than just one contemporary oldies record label. Mm-hmm. They didn't get it. Nobody gets it. So I was able to help form subsidiaries. So it gives the enigma that there's more, which there is. So that means that it's growing out. We go through a pattern cycle in the oldies record business in our music every 10 years or so. It goes down, it comes back up. The resurgence, we're right in the middle of a coming up resurgence.
Oh, okay.
Notice it with the new promoters that are coming out, putting groups that are not veteran groups, but the second tier level groups that are very good. So it's never going to die. One thing I don't like to use, Marie, is the term keeping it alive, because it sounds like it's on life support. It's not. Okay. It is prevalent because we're still alive making it. So keeping it alive means that we have an IV put into our arm and we're just trying to stay in substantive life, you know? But no, it's really true. There's very vibrant people in the veteran level that are still very proficient in what they do. You know, so and I know them all, and I'm very proud to do so. I work with a lot of them, so I'm really.
You're doing this part, your part to share this wonderful music.
I do this. Main reason why. So I'm really just proud and honored that everybody I've ever touched in working with or whatever, and friends, is just it's like a giant fraternity sorority. We all love each other. We all know each other, either personally or by reputation. And it's a great big family. Yeah. Every show I've ever been on or done, even ones that I've been in the audience and I go backstage, then I can have the opportunity to do so. It is like a reunion week. Everybody loves everybody. It's just the greatest thrill. I don't think any of the genre has that kind of camaraderie at all. Yeah. Than the people from the 50s and 60s, oldies scene.
Well, you're part of a big family. You're part of a big family.
I definitely am, and unfortunately, I've lost a few really prominent, close friends that I perform with and work with, and that hurts. You know, all my mentors are gone. So when something significant happens, that's really cool in my life and really groundbreaking, you want to pick up the phone, but you know that's not going to happen. I just go outside and look up at the sky and give my thumbs up.
Well, you enjoyed their company and you know, camaraderie with them for so many years. So of course you miss them. But yeah,
I was one of the luckiest, fortunate youngsters to be a part of something special, and that's just something that nobody can understand unless you lived it. You know.
Stevie, you wrote a book,
yeah.
Acapella Street Corner Vocal Groups, which I have. Did. And let me hold it up for the audience to view.
Oh, that's perfect. I love that. You know, that book is a collection.
Yeah.
That's about the 60s pioneer acapella scene that coincides with the original oldies record market movement from the late 50s.
Yes.
And they all come in. We wrote that book for every acapella group that was in the tri-state area in the 60s. And it was very important. Nobody ever wrote a book about that before. We were nominated for an ARSC award, which is a music industry historical award. To be nominated is an honor. They only give 2 awards out a year. It's like a Grammy for books.
Wow, that is an honor.
Yeah, and we won Soul Patrol magazine's best pick for 2006 for this book. It's an ethereal book. It's kind of like a Bible for a cappella. There could have been more things in it. My co-author wanted to kind of move it along a little faster and get it out. There was more, but there's a lot more to it. As far as a cappella goes, I'm the expert in the whole United States with a cappella relating to doo-wop street corner groups in the whole country. I know the values of the records. I have all of the 60s a cappella records and most of the 70s to the 90s releases. And it's that's my forte, that's my fetish for record collecting, is collecting that genre.
Yes.
the purest form of street corner vocal group harmony without music is what I really am attracted to.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing all this knowledge with folks, you know, and
No problem.
and so can I ask you another question here?
Sure thing.
You told us you're working with little Anthony, who we love.
Yes.
Tell us about his new CD that you're promoting, Little Anthony and the Music, and the new hit single, New York State of Mind.
Oh.
I've seen all the movie stars and the fancy cars and the limousines. Been high in the Rockies under the evergreen. But I know what I'm needing, and I don't want to waste more time. I'm in a New York state of mind.
Oh, wow. This was an incredible thing. Mike Miller of Harmony Street Productions and the group Harmony Street, I go back with him 35 years. I'm the first guy to do Harmony Street's recordings on the Emeraldtown record label, a subsidiary of Crescent Records. And what I did, when he nonchalantly asked me, Mike did, you want to do an Anthony CD? I go, yeah, sure. I just like that. I didn't really think much of it. About 6 weeks go by, and I think about it, and I'm like, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's got all these hit records. He's a status symbol that precedes him without even, for whatever astute purpose it serves. I'm like, this is the greatest thrill of my life. This is the greatest thing. I took it very humbly. I am humbled and honored by this. I love Anthony Bourdain like a brother. I have the utmost respect for him. I know that, everyone that has ever heard his records through the decades have probably made babies to some of his songs. You understand? And so he is a great person. And New York State of Mind, he took on and nailed it as good or better than Billy Joel did. And it was nominated for a Grammy for 2022. We made it to round 2. I'm just happy we made it at all.
Right.
To be nominated for a Grammy, I'm the only oldies record label in the entire history of music business that's ever had a Grammy nomination in this genre. So that's a great thrill. So that's better than having the award. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I walk a little taller. I got a few more doors open for me than I had before. It's just a strange feeling. And I take it.
But it's a happy feeling.
Yes, it is. I'm totally thrilled and honored by it all.
So Stevie, where can it be purchased on your website, on Amazon?
Yes. StreetCornerEntertainment.com. We recently signed a deal with Orchard Entertainment, and they're going to be handling the distribution of the digital formats. So and it's on harmonystreet.biz too.
Okay. Well, we encourage our audience to look into it.
Before we part, I'll show you some eye candy of some of the things that we've done on my label. Can you see this?
Yes.
That's multicolored. That's JT Morgan and Frankie LaFaro. JT was on PBS 5 years ago on Do Up Generations with, he did Hear My Broken Hearted and What Do I Have to Do? Ramon Altamirano's record, a local guy I mentored and coached and basically taught everything he knows. Daddy's Home, and then the Sly Stone record song, Since You've Been Gone, is the flip side. I'm on this record too. I'm his background singer. And Joel Cat. The first record that we did on Street Corner Entertainment, Joel Cat's comeback record. Let me turn it right there. Get it there. Yeah, there it is. No More Like Me and Don't Say You're Sorry. And he hadn't made a recording in several years, so this was a very wonderful treat. I go back with Joel about 35 years, and I did a lot of shows with him with the five boroughs. So it was him, me, Eddie Pardocci from the Five Discs, sometimes Rudy West up until he died, and Pookie Hudson, Val Pugliuto from the Jaguars. And once in a while, some other people come in. There was a lot that did it over the years, and it was great. We worked the southern portion of the oldies circuit out to all the way to California to the doo-wop society out there. Great times and great fun. This right here is I don't know if you can see this or not, because I can. This is the CD that I put out called Las Vegas Street Corner Harmony. And it has 12 cuts on there of West Coast and East Coast group harmony recordings. And a couple were hits. Some were regionals on both coasts. I did that on purpose. I went through 1,200 songs to go and narrow it down to 12. That's pretty hard to do. But they're all my favorites from what I collected when I was a kid. So the ones I really wanted to do, and there's lots of songs I want to do, but those in particular to start off the enigma of the recordings that I do, which I'm pretty proud of it. And I did it all myself. I did all the parts. I do that a lot.
Okay.
But I sang in 9 different vocal groups in my career.
Well,
and I'm very proud of that too. So
yes, you've had a wonderful career. And,
yeah, it's been fun. It has.
Yeah, we can see you've had some fun.
Yeah.
And this interview's been fun too.
Thank you.
So,
well, I think so. I think it's great. I feel like I'm in a living room having a cup of coffee or something. Talking shop. That's great.
Yeah, comfortable feeling. So how would you like to close out the interview?
Well, I think from my perspective, and for everybody out there that's involved in this genre, that is doing, performing and recording, and old and new, which means the veterans and the up and coming people, do not stop. Our tradition is in place. Never give up. You don't do it until you can't do it anymore. And we have such a camaraderie and family-like integrity with each other across the country, not just in one concentrated area. This is a special thing. You can understand the lyrics, the melodies.
Yes,
it's not derogatory. It's not vulgar. It epitomizes a time period where it was really great, and it does stimulate memories and creates new ones.
That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So, and it's romantic. You know, doo-wop music in general, Marie, was created by street guys that wrote and recorded romantic laments for the girls that they had crushes on.
Right. Yes, we heard that from a few of the artists. Yes.
It's true. I mean, some of the greatest rock and roll songs of our time were wrote right in the street. It's like, how does that happen? But it does. The harp tones, the dubs, spaniels, you name the group, they did it like that.
Yeah. So,
and guys that are on the second and third generation, we are carrying the tradition on the same way.
Yes. Yes. And us girls, we appreciate those romantic songs. So.
Well, thank you. That's why we do it. We do it for you. Yeah. Yeah.
And thank you so much for educating our audience and keeping us informed about street corner harmony, both past and present.
Yes, it's prevalent. We're not on life support. Our goal is to continue on in the 21st century.
That's right. And before we let you go, we wanted to show our appreciation for doing the interview with us. And
that's very nice.
Our pleasure. First, we have a set of lovely 45 RPM adapter earrings for your wife Diane that Rico designed.
Oh,
of course, I'm wearing them. I don't know.
Oh, she might like those. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good order. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
And so when you folks go to the Las Vegas Strip, she'll be wearing a piece of rock and roll history.
Well, she likes a lot of the stuff we do, but she grew up as a teenager in the early 70s. So she's all into the classic rock scene, which is great. And God bless her. And I love her appreciation for that, and she's pretty hip. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I love a dilly.
We hope that she likes these. And
Oh, she would like it. Yeah,
okay.
I know she will.
And Rico also designed a mock-up comp billboard cover specifically for you, The Dawn.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
So just give me a moment and I'll post it on the screen so that you and everyone else out in BCB land will be able to see it.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much.
Sure. So I have to share screen. Click on it. Now that should have popped up. Are you seeing?
Oh, that's really cool. I like it. I like it very much.
Right.
I love it.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it for our audience also, for you and our audience. It says, Billboard, special honorable mention, Las Vegas issue, January 2023. The Dawn, Stevie Dunham, brings his New York state of mind to Las Vegas.
That's perfect. I love it.
Street Corner Entertainment, specializing in the genre of urban vocal group harmony, street corner harmony, a cappella, R&B, and Northern Soul.
Thank you.
So
That's
now,
perfect.
I'm glad you liked it. We're gonna back to
That's
the
a
name.
PR. That's a PR poster that speaks for itself. That's really great. I love it.
Now, after we close, we'll make arrangements so that we can get these mailed out to you.
Oh, beautiful. That sounds great, Marie. All right.
Is
You
it-
guys are great. I have to say, you guys
Well,
are great.
we try to be great.
You know,
And we really enjoyed this interview. It was so
my mutual friends that have done this prior to me, they were like, "Yeah, you got to do this," and they really enjoyed it. So I'm really totally enjoying it, and I'm so honored that you guys took the time out for me, and vice versa. I really honored.
Oh, we appreciate it. We know you do. We really appreciate you sharing your background in the street corner harmony market, and it's enlightened all of us, right? And we encourage you to continue doing what you're doing.
Well, thank you. I will do so.
Okay.
I do it for the love of our music, and I devoted my life to it.
You can see that. So we'll stay in touch with you via social media, so you can keep us abreast of any new happenings via the Street Corner Entertainment in the future.
A lot of stuff getting ready to come out in 2023 from the label group. We've got a lot of great stuff coming out, and I'm really excited about it. Records and CDs are like toys to me. It doesn't matter who it is, if it's and we're a part of it. I'm so enamored by it all. You know, I feel like a little kid with this stuff, and I'm thrilled. I get really excited, and it's because I live it. You know, and
that's it.
And my
when you have a love for something, it shows.
Absolutely.
You know, and so it's
exactly right.
It showed in the
and it showed in the interview. Absolutely.
Thank
And
you.
who knows? Maybe in the future we'll hop a flight to Vegas. We'll all go out to lunch at New York, and share some New York stories.
That's great. I have lots of them.
So does Rico. He does too.
Music and otherwise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Both of you are great. And yeah, we haven't made that trip to California lately. So it's probably on our agenda for the 2023 year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's lots of things to do in San Diego, that's for sure, you know.
Eating is one of the most important things. I love food, especially I know there's a Little Italy in San Diego. So
Oh, yes, they've got some good stuff there in Little Italy.
I've had stuff sent to me from there, and it's great.
Oh, you
So-
have? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you already know your spots. You probably know more about it than we do.
My wife has been to San Diego many times, so she knows where a few places are that she's been to.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I have a tour guide and so on and so forth. And it's great. We get to hook up with you guys and do the same thing. So it's good.
Yeah. Well, you're covered on all ends then.
Yeah. I'm very blessed by God to be in this business and have great friends.
Yeah, you really are. You really are. You know, you're feed your soul. You know, and put the
Well,
smile on
you know
your
what? Yeah, you follow what your compassion is, you'll be successful in it. You know, if you work in an environment that you might be more, very acclimated to and have an expertise to, it might not be as good because it isn't what you feel. When you're compassionate about something, the success rate is much better. It really is.
Of course. Only makes sense. Well, this was great. This was great.
Well, thank you. Thank you again, both of you.
Any more, Rico?
Okay, is that the end of the interview? Okay, Stevie, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Very well.
Well, here we are back in the VCB studio. Let's just highlight some of what Stevie shared with us. He'll be on a new TJ Lubinsky special in 2023, so let's look for him. Eugene Pitt was a mentor, and he backed Stevie up on stage in 1998 at the Gold Coast Casino in Las Vegas. Stevie has worked with Little Anthony on his new CD, New York State of Mind, which was nominated for a Grammy. He stays very busy, and it doesn't look like he's slowing down. You can see Stevie Dunham has the market on Street Corner Harmony and much more. Also, don't forget to check out the Street Corner Entertainment radio show every Saturday on rememberthenradio.com, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. There are replays on Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. We encourage all viewers in our VCB audience to visit Stevie Dunham's website and Facebook page. There is a download store where you can purchase CDs, vinyl, and more. We'll post all his contact information on our last page. We hope that all of our subscribers and friends out there enjoyed this interview as much as we did. Bookmark our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our future interviews and shows. Rico, maybe we can plan a little weekend excursion to the Las Vegas Strip. Since it is the entertainment capital of the world, we can stop by and say hello to Stevie and stroll along the strip.
Our bags are packed, Marie.
Boom, 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 do-bop-she-doo, do-bop-she-dooby, dooby, 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 do-bop-she-doo, how I enjoy the show, do-bop-she-dooby, dooby, doo, but I love you so. Do-bop-she-doo, 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 do-bop-she-doo.